Good morning, Lorraine. Hey, so I'm looking around at these videos and the things and the pictures that are being posted about Monday night's meeting. I see lots of people with cameras out at the City Hall meeting acting like they're doing something just outlandish by holding up their cameras like this and videoing someone who's videoing them. When in reality, if you look around that building, the few video cameras they do have in there, it cracks me up. So you've got a mobile camera that will move around the building and you can view different people inside City Hall itself. But when you go into the actual building, you got two archaic, ancient black and white cameras that video stuff and don't move at all. So when it comes to our actual building security, you don't care at all. But when it comes to inside that security room or inside that City Hall room, you've got a mobile camera. That tells me everything you know, you need to know about City Hall. They're more careful about protecting themselves than they are about protecting anyone else. Law enforcement included, because that initial entryway has no cameras other than a couple of black and whites, and that leads to the police department. So they don't care. Secondly, for all of you that are upset at Garen for what he's doing, I don't really care at this point. I told him to buy the video camera. I told him to start recording you people down there at City Hall. You want to pull your cameras out and video him, you have every right to. Mayor Springowski, you do too. The only problem is when you do it during a city and council meeting, it becomes public record. You've already had this discussion, Mayor, with multiple people about you filming and videoing during the meetings when they have a live stream that's going on. So, as a council person, when they're getting ready to go into executive session, you shouldn't be holding your camera and videoing unless you want it to be considered part of the public record. So again, you've been through this before. I get that you're all upset that Garen videos. But we're being videoed 24/7 in that building. We're being treated like second-class citizens in that building. You know, the fact that he has to get up there and say this stuff to our city reps is just unbelievable. And yes, I'm sorry, Jerry, you can't be back there. And when you see the door swinging open, and this is Mary's father, and he's back there, and you're going to yell at Garen for that, and you're going to get up in front of the public and threaten us with arrest by police officers for not following your rules, and then you allow Mr. Donovan back there after you yelled at Garen for it? No, that's not how any of this works. So it's selective rule enforcement. So Jerry's allowed to go back there whenever he wants, just not Garen. So other people are allowed to do what they want and speak when they want and how they want, just not Aaron Knapp. I get it. I totally get it. Anybody that's your detractor, you speak out against. Anybody that you don't agree with, you attack. And it's starting to slide into your followers. I know some of you follow me. But I saw those pictures of you at the City Hall staring at Garen, taking pictures of you. And yet you'll sit there and you'll defend the city's right to post my name and address online, but getting mad when Garen videos you in the same building that the city's videoing you in. So when Garen's holding the camera, then it's camera. But when it's the city holding the camera, it's, oh, that's their right. Oh my God, you can't interfere with that. No, come on, guys. You guys are killing me with this mentality. There's nothing. I told Garen to video. I'm going to be clear. The salute was meant for me. There was no showboating during public comment, and you're speaking to the public. You're not. You sit up there and say we're not going to have debates. We're not going to have this. We're not going to have that. You don't get to determine that. You don't get to set rules of council that restrict free speech. We can get up there and say whatever we want, however we want, and we can video you at any time. If you can give out my information and everyone's okay with them giving out my information, everyone's okay with them posting kids' information online, you guys really just defend the government. You just defend the police. You let them do whatever the F they want, however they want, violate everyone's civil rights. Now I got to come down there and video everything again. And yes, James McCann may be salaried, but when he's there, it can be considered overtime, and I'm certain it is. And so I'm going to request all of the records in regards to payments made out to all law enforcement while they're there. But here's a thought: you use auxiliary officers. That's their purpose in the city Even in the city rules, it talks about using them for crowd control and traffic stuff and stuff that a local normal officer wouldn't be needed for. So what you're saying is for the 12 or 13 people in there that support Mary and the 1 or 2 people like me and Garen, you need police. You need the top police to protect us. I don't need James McCann protecting me. He can waddle on out. Like, literally, James, I'd like to see you pass a PT test. You pass a PT test, and then maybe I'll respect you. But I'm done playing this game with all this stuff. I'm done being nice. I'm done dealing with this crap. You're going to bring the top-ranking police officer into a city hall meeting to intimidate the public. Intimidate the public from speaking. Answer for your crimes now. You know, I'm still waiting on an email back from Baez on whether or not you can say all you want in open forum meeting what you're going to do, but you got to make a rule. You got to write it down. It's got to be on paper. You got to put it out. If you're not going to make us state our name and address for the record when we walk up anymore, and only require us to write it down, which is what I heard in your announcement. So yes, the person that was emailing me that says that that's not the case, it is the case. Unless he lied on a city hall meeting record. Because Joel said that we are allowed to now not make a statement with our address out loud. And that we can write it down. So I don't know how much more clear we need to be about that I was right on that safety does matter, and that you can't require people to do that as a reason for their free speech. Which means I still need my apology from Thornsberry, which I've had other people in my feed saying, well, he didn't know. He thought it was the law, or he thought this, or he thought that. I don't care if he knew. It's his job to know. So if he didn't know, then he apologizes for not knowing how to do his job. He says, Aaron, I'm sorry. And Aaron says, Joshua, it's okay. We all make mistakes. I appreciate you being man enough to step up and apologize. Same thing with James. All of you people, all you have to do is publicly say you're sorry. Go online, make a video, post it on the public website for everyone to see that says, I was wrong, Aaron was right, I'm sorry. And this can all go away. Be a man, James. Be a man, Thornsberry. You've got women defending you to me. You got women in my feed, like, defending you to me, saying what a nice guy you are. That makes me question everything about you. If you have something you need to say to me, step up, be a man, say it to my face. I'm saying it to your face. James McCann, you committed a crime against me. You look like you're out of shape. I don't think you could pass a PT test. You haven't qualified for leads in 2 years, and per the law, you're supposed to be the top guy on leads, so you haven't qualified for that. What are you doing? Maybe instead of spending your time at city council meetings, you could go take some Opta classes. Maybe you could take a leads class and get yourself recertified to be the top officer in this town and have access to leads material. Maybe you could stop sending leads screenshots to people who want law enforcement over unsecured email. Maybe you guys could take some Opta classes on emails and email security and procedures. Maybe you could just stop brutalizing the public. I swear to God, now you're going to make me come to these meetings and go stand by you, because that's what I'm going to do now. Now I'm going to come in there with my body camera, and I'm going to have to video all of you too. Now that you've all made such a big deal out of being videoed. So the city is videoing you. Keep that in mind. They're posting your video online for everyone to see. But Garen takes your picture and suddenly you guys get a tied up butthole? Come on. This is... If you don't see your actions for what they are, if you can't just take down your biases and realize that everything Mary does is not golden, and that when you attack Garen specifically because Mary wants you to, you're just falling into that same trap over and over and over again. So I'm going to say this out loud again. Jerry, or whatever his name is, doesn't have the right to go back behind that thing. You clearly see in the picture that it's open. You clearly see him coming out of it. So if you yelled at Garen and threatened to arrest him for that, Joel, and you didn't do the same to this guy, who was someone's father, who is a sitting council member, then again, you're showing favoritism. I just don't get why you guys don't get this. You can't say rules for thee and not rules for me, as Garen would say. You can't enforce these rules on us and then not enforce them on Mary's father or on other people that are doing this. Otherwise, I'm going to come down there and go behind the railing. Otherwise, I'm going to come down there and do this stuff because you guys are selectively enforcing it. So once again, you need to go up and change the rules. They need to be listed. They need to be voted on. They need to have specifically. I mean, there's citizens out there who are arguing with me now still that we need to say our name for the record, and we don't. So you need to post something on that. You need to go out and put out a statement that says we're no longer going to require that. And this is how we're going to do it. And not just say it at the beginning of the meeting when you're chastising the rest of us like children. You 77-year-old grandpa. Stop doing that. I'm not trying to be ageist, but you don't get up there and lecture us like you're our papa. Because you're not. You're not my pop-pop. You don't tell me what to do, pop-pop. So you sit your old ass down and be quiet. Stop giving unlawful directives to the people. We are the people, Mr. Arredondo. Go sell a car. Go do something, anything, but giving fake and false directives to we the people who don't need your orders or your authorization to do or say anything. Let's make this clear. Your city council rules affect you, not us. Not one of the citizenry signed or voted on those rules. So those are your rules for you, not for us. Our rules are laid out in the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution of the United States of America, that it says you will not impede upon, you will not do anything to violate. So when I get up to speak my piece, you will shut your pie hole and let me speak my piece. Just zip it. So yes, Thornsberry, you did something wrong. And for those who would say he didn't know better, he should have known better. And for those of you that will say, well, he just thought he was doing the right thing, I don't care. He wasn't. He was doing the wrong thing and he broke the frickin' law. So either he fixes it or we go and we charge him for breaking the law. There are consequences for your actions when you work on city council, when you don't know how to make appropriate motions, when you don't know how to follow your own rules, and then when you try to hold citizens accountable to those rules and you bring in law enforcement to thug us up and treat us like crap. And you can say what you want about that, but when you say these two gentlemen here are here for you, if you disrupt us, that's a threat. That's how I see it. And that's how everyone sees it. So I don't even understand why they're doing it. There's so many mucho misfires, big mistakes I can recall in the incident in my last meeting as a public servant for the city of Lorraine. The council president bullied me, violated my rights, and he called LPD. Yes, Dennis. Yes, Mr. Eagles. The one who wants to support us all and teach us all about freedom too. Yes, Dennis, I get that. You are 100% right. This is what they're doing. They're not allowed to do this, though. You know it, I know it. They should know it. They're not allowed to bully us. They're not allowed to speak to us that way. Honestly, I seriously feel like this is just a power trip. And Dennis, you are 100% right. I'm sick of this. So now I got to go, and again, I wasn't there because I wanted to see how they'd play out. I still haven't received my all clear from Thornsberry on whether he's going to let me speak. I still haven't seen the rules. I need to see the rules. I want copies of all the police rules that I've asked for, Mr. Levesque, that you keep denying me. They're so scared of these police rules. They don't want me to have them. I have Rule 305, and McCann violated that one up, down, and left and right. So if you're not afraid of your own rules, why not just give them to me? If you're not afraid, I'm going to hold you accountable to them. But in the grand scheme of things, I was not wrong about any of this, and I'm still not wrong. Mary, your camera is now considered public record. Any photos you take or videos you take during a public meeting while you're a sitting council member makes it public record. Just so you know. The rest of you that were videoing, not public record. All you audience members, in fact, all you audience members should just go buy your own body cameras, have them on at all times, because that's what it's come to. So when you hold your cameras up defiantly at Garen and scowl as if you're doing something wrong because he's got his camera out, yet you don't scowl at City Hall for videoing you and then putting it online for everyone to see, then you're a hypocrite. Plain and simple. He's allowed to have it because he can get it offline, and I can go get it offline. I can get all the videos of you offline. And it's freedom of speech. Like, when you guys do that, you look just like those people in those auditor videos when someone walks around with a body camera. I'm going to be clear. I told Garen to buy a body camera to protect himself, and I'm glad he did, because he has all this video of all you people scowling at him and treating him like crap in a city hall meeting where he's supposed to feel safe. And you got police officers standing in the back. So why did Morris and McCann need to be in the back? And then why did Morris need to move down the wall when Garen was speaking to council? Why do they keep getting closer to him? Why do they keep coming up on him? Why don't they sit out in the hall like the other officers did every time I was there? I mean, I was there at a committee meeting. I never saw that officer get up off his ass once. He sat there in the chair the whole time. So we have all these problems that Joel's talking about, which are lies now. So Joel lied on city council time, saying we've had all these problems at the last 2 meetings. What problem did you have at that one meeting other than me not wanting to state my name for the record? What problem was that? I'm just kind of curious. Like, what legal problem you had at the Parks and Rec meeting for the pool, and what problem you had at the streets meeting? The 2 meetings that you didn't have a quorum for, that you still haven't addressed that. The 2 meetings where you were, well, at least one of those 2 meetings where you illegally withheld my speech. The first one, you let me speak uninhibited without qualifying my speech. The third time, when Thornsberry did it, it became a crime. So again, you have a sitting council person committing a First Amendment violation against me. I guess you guys just do really want to get sued. I have 2 lawyers chomping at the bits to do this. The only reason I'm not doing it and suing you is because I like the white horse. I like to be a martyr. And I'm going to keep being a martyr. And you guys keep giving it to me. I mean, you were so easy to manipulate when it comes to this stuff. All I have to do is say something, and you'll automatically do the wrong thing. It's almost like it's your playbook to just break the law. Like, I'm at this point, I was shocked at, like, the way you do it. Now, at this point, after living here for a while and seeing how you guys operate, I realize, McCann and all you people, you've been doing this for so long, it's muscle memory. You don't even know how to do something else anymore. Like, you just know how to violate rights. It's like, I'm here to violate rights and chew gum, and I'm all out of gum. So, I mean, again, folks, like, now I'm going to have to go with my body camera. Which, again, I had my body camera at the last meeting that I was at. You guys realize that, right? And it was on. Like, I have my video, too. I have my video of Thornsberry running his yap. I just don't always post all my videos because I don't want them to know everything I have. Garen, on the other hand, I encourage him to post all his videos because they need to know everything he has, because he has a lot. He has a lot going back 4 or 5 years, and you guys don't even realize it because you won't read it. The fact that I'm able to give you stuff in chats that I've posted 1,000 times online and you're shocked by it tells me you haven't read one thing I posted, people. So before you come into my posts and start correcting me and telling me, why haven't I done this, or why haven't I done that, or why don't I do this, you need to read everything. Go to the pictures of the Lorraine Uncensored Politics page and read through every picture. They're not in order. I know it's hard, but I'm not going to do all the work for you. But there's plenty of evidence down there for you to be able to reach out and say he did this. All of the videos, or all of the files that show his text messages that he claims don't exist, that were sent to the courts, that the court sent me for a public records request, that the city to date still won't send me and claims don't exist, and yet we're okay with that? Just let that sink in. The county gave them to me. If I were to go to court right now and sue the city of Lorraine, like Musto is, for $300,000 for failure to give me my public records, I file a writ of Mirandus right now, I win. Period. Because I know they exist, because I've got copies of them from the county. So once you have copies from the county and you have a city and police chief lying about public records not existing, that's what he did. He lied. He said they don't exist. I have the message that says you're reading it wrong. But yet the county sent all of it to me. So again, you guys play games. I'm going to keep doing this until the AG or the governor's office finally listens to me. I'm going to keep doing this until they do finally either take my license. And even then, if they try to take my license, I'm still going to do it. They put me in jail, I'm still going to do it. Andy Dufresne, baby. I'll keep writing letters until you guys get corrected, until you start acting right. So for those who might say, Thornsberry made a mistake, man up, bro. Apologize. Man up, Thornsberry. Contact me. For those that say Demakia, our sitting council at large, might call me, might reach out to me, I've reached out to all of them. I've sent my messages to all of them. I've emailed all of them. They all have my phone number. They all have my business card. None of them call me back. The best I can get is an email from the mayor and an occasional response from Levesque on public records that they should have provided me weeks ago, and mostly just contained my emails. So, I mean, like, I get it. You guys want to play games. You know, why did it take you so long to review my emails? Like, emails that I sent you to make sure they were legally able to be sent? I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. You didn't write, you know, you don't redact anything out of my emails, but you redact law enforcement names and other people's names and things like that out, which proves to me you understand how the laws work. So, once again, I'm just going to say this. I saw all of you at that meeting, and I know some of you are on my page, and some of you are on those pictures and in those videos. Legally okay, legally allowed. Garen's allowed to video you. And Mary, again, now that you pulled out your camera and flipped it around and started videoing Garen in a sitting ongoing meeting as a county or a city official, you've made that public record. So yes, he can request your video from your phone, and I strongly suggest he do so. I suggest he do so because it's going to contain quiet audio that only is picked up between what you said with law enforcement. And let's just hope that you aren't exaggerating or making things up when you speak to Chief McCann, because that would be a crime as well. So once again, though, also having overtimed officers who make $55 an hour, making time and a half at city council meetings for 1 to 3 hours a night is not okay with me. You have a policy and procedure for hiring and utilizing auxiliary officers during times of overflow. Use that. I would have full copies of that if you would give me copies of your policies and procedures, but I don't. But I do know for a fact that that exists. I've seen it. I've read up on it because I wanted to know after you illegally removed me from City Hall when Swinger did it. So again, you guys are just bullies. I still haven't released that video because I just haven't gotten around to putting it online. But listening to Swinger violate my rights through his Garrity interview, where he clearly states that I'd been to City Hall multiple times, even though I haven't, he lied. Liar, liar, pants on frickin' fire, bro. You can't make lies in police statements, knowingly or unknowingly. And you knew. You guys all knew I hadn't been there more than once. I'd only been there once to see Bradley, where I was shuffled out of a back door and told, after telling him that James McCann shared with me ongoing criminal investigatory work product by telling me that he and other law enforcement officers had received death threats. And then they got mad at me because I suggested they call the cops. And I'm like, dude, that's not my responsibility. You can't tell me criminal activities and unreported or uncompleted investigatory work record that are considered clears. So you'll deny me clears for stuff I want, but you'll give me clears for stuff I don't want. That's the problem. So once again, people, I'm just saying this, like, tuck it in, man. Like, you're going to have to deal with this. You're going to have to deal with being videoed. You're going to have to deal with being audioed. You're going to have to deal with Garen being out there and making you guys feel uncomfortable, because this is freedom of speech. Mary, it's freedom of speech. You're a government representative. And when you bring your father to these meetings and you let him go behind those areas, you are setting us all up for failure, Garen included. And so if you want, you have to set the example. You are the example. Mary, Joel, like, you know, even stupid Thornsberry, all of you set the example. So if you can't speak to us with respect, how are we expected to speak to you with respect? If you can't respect your own council rules and speak to each other with respect, how do you expect us to do it? If you don't follow your rules, you can't expect us to follow your rules. Something as simple as a sign-in sheet. If you're going to revert to rules at a committee meeting and say, I must do X, Y, Z, when you didn't do X, Y, Z to begin with, then you're already in violation of your own rules and therefore couldn't even form a quorum if you had enough members. But you didn't. So everything you did in that meeting, whether you thought it was right or not, was illegal as well because you had no quorum. So again, I'm still waiting on the apology from the city where you're telling me, a citizen, that my right to speak and freedom of speech is now restricted based on my unwanting or not wanting to state my name and address on the record on a video. And I told you I would write it down and you still refuse to let me speak. That's illegal. So again, I don't care if you're a nice guy. You broke the law, man. When you guys sign up to be a city council member, you have to follow those laws and rules. When you sign up and I see people that don't know how to make motions, or make motions at the wrong time. That means you haven't read the rules that you swore to uphold, the laws that you swore to uphold. Every one of you council meeting or members should be reading those laws and rules. And if you can't, send them to me, and I will, and I'll hold you accountable to them. I'm fine with that. But you don't send me that stuff. You call it overly broad. Again, Levesque, I want my police rules. So again, if McCann can send out Rule 305 that discusses discipline to Garen Petty without request, then again, you have nullified your argument that I'm being overly broad by asking for all of the rules. And then if you're going to say I'm being overly broad, then I reduced it to 1 to 20 from all the rules, and I know there's 305, so 1 to 20 is not unreasonable. Requesting them 20 files at a time. 1 through 20, 21 through, 41, 41 through 61, whatever. We're going to do this. We can do this that way. But let me know. Stop ignoring me. Stop waiting weeks to respond. Figure out your guys' email problems. Pull your heads out of your orifices. Stop treating the citizens like they're stupid. And definitely don't come at me unless you know what you're doing. Because I have all the records. I have all the emails. And for those that have claimed that it was Jack, Bradley, or anyone else that had some sort of a hand in me being fired, because I've had a lot of different quirky ideas come in, I have the emails. I have every last email James sent. I have every time I begged him to stop. I have every time I begged other city officials to get him to stop. I have the letter from the state board asking me to describe the actions that I took that are in direct relation to his complaint. I have his complaint, my response to the complaint. I have the questions to the complaint that show that they were made by Lorain Police in regards to Lorain Police. I have the letter that was the letter and the emails that and text messages that were sent to Tim Weitzel, the juvenile court administrator, illegally from a city computer in Lorain City with James McCann's name and address on it, from his text messages that he claims don't exist. I have all of that on record, on recording, initially given to me by the county through public records request, even though James claims they don't exist because they're throwing him under the bus because he did the same to them. He made complaints saying that signing LSW to my name was wrong, which it's not. He made complaints that said that being a guardian ad litem did not make me an officer of the court, which it did per the court's own website. I posted all of that. All you guys got to do is read. If you're capable of reading the documents in my post, you would have no questions. So it tells me when you come in and you make me explain once again for the 1,000th time why I don't have to say my name, why it's illegal for the city to post my information, not you, but the city, why certain things are part of the law. I understand this stuff. So if you don't and you don't want to hear me out, then you're going to need to trust that I'm not wrong. And I've proven that I'm not wrong by the fact that the city has not yet proven me wrong. They still have juvenile records and juvenile court records online. That is illegal. I don't care what they say. So you guys can defend these guys all you want. You want me to love them. You want me to get down on my knees and please them whenever I see them, the police. Then you need to start doing something in return to earn that. I don't see you earning that. If I were law enforcement, if I were James McCann and I were a veteran and I'm following my oath of office, I would say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to stand there and give legitimacy to your fears of the people. And I saw them scan around to that crowd of people. That's the group of people you guys are scared of? Older women basically scowling at Garen Petty. One lone Garen Petty, a couple of old dudes. I don't even know that I saw Kyrie there. Some white dude in the front row. That's who you're scared of? That little crowd of people. If I was anyone in the audience, I would be offended that they're scared of me, my public representatives. What are they scared of? So the only thing they're scared of, apparently, is Aaron and Garen, because we're the only ones being vocal. And I've never crossed the line. I've never walked behind council chambers. I've never done anything wrong. All I did was get up and speak and try to exercise my freedom of speech, as is authorized by the Constitution of the United States, a document which I support, and fought to uphold the right to actually have. So yeah, as a disabled veteran, I want my 2 minutes. I want my 2 minutes, Thornsbury, and I want my 2 minutes back. So the next time I show up, I want 4 minutes, because you stole 2 minutes from me. I want 2 minutes to speak on the bike lanes. And then I want 2 minutes to speak on whatever else I want to speak on. Because I still haven't gotten to say my piece on the bikes. I wanted to actually support the person running the streets department in regards to these bike lanes. Unlike most citizens, I support the bike lanes. And I wanted to say that. So of all the things you cut me off on, it was the only thing good I was going to say that night, which is kind of ironic. But I am glad that it was you that did it, because that first lady was kind of nice, and she let me say it twice, and she set a precedent. So when you got up and you decided to be a jerk after I'd already spoke twice and only hold me to that one rule without letting me explain why and calling me out of order without letting me speak, as someone suggested, you were not just unknowing, you were not just doing what you thought was right. You were doing what you thought was expedient and what would get you the results you wanted. You were being a bully. I referred to you as sir, and yet you made me sit down. So again, I need you guys to do the right thing and make your apologies. Pull it out of your ass and make your apologies. Because that's what needs to happen here. So you're a sitting school board member and you violated council rules and laws when you censored me during a non-quorum meeting. That could affect your employment. So just say you're sorry, guys. That's all you got to do. Make a statement with council, initial statement, put it in the record that says that Mr. Knapp was right, that we're no longer going to allow this to happen, and we apologize for affecting his free speech, and that he will be granted 2 minutes to speak outside of the 20 minutes required by council in order to speak on the new bikes and street path that he was not allowed to speak of at that committee hearing. Unless, of course, you want to just say on the record and admit that you had no quorum, that was an illegal meeting and that you couldn't actually censor me to begin with because of your lack of a quorum. If you want to do that, I'm okay with that, and then I don't have to speak at all because the meeting was illegal and you've admitted it. But it's one or the other. So let's get this stuff squared away, folks. I'm not going away. I'm going to keep coming at you. Levesque, I need my policies and procedures. You can keep sending me email after email and delaying, but I'm going to get them. So either you guys give them to me soon or I'm going to file a writ of Mirandus with the Court of Claims again. You've already paid out one claim on that. You'll pay this one out too, and you'll give me everything that I want. So let's do this. Let's make it happen. I'm going to leave you guys on this note. So, McCann, stop being a bully. Joelle, retire. Mary, you need to calm down, and you need to stop letting Garen get to you. If you're so bothered by Garen and his video camera, then stop engaging and egging him on as well. You're only feeding the fire. And so I don't understand why you keep doing this. There's nothing to be scared of from him. Nothing. He's not doing anything to you, and the stuff he's saying is public record. As much as it may be distasteful to you guys, when an elderly person like Mr. What's-his-face, Donovan, comes in and exposes himself to public comment and criticism to support his daughter, when he walks behind restricted areas when other citizens aren't allowed because his daughter works there, he's setting a bad example. That's all I can say. And you're not allowed to do that. You can't hold Garen accountable and not hold other people accountable. That's it. I don't care if it's petty. At this point, I am one of Petty's puppets because they're being petty to him. So, yeah, we're being petty to other people now because we want them and you and everyone to understand that when you enforce this rule on Garen, you unfortunately have to enforce it on everyone, which means that our elderly could get thrown out and or arrested for going behind that little area as well. We clearly have a video of him coming out of that area. You can see it swinging back. You can see it says city employees only, and he's not a city employee, right? So again, rules for thee and not for me. Rules for Garen but not for Aaron. Rules for Aaron but not for Garen. Rules for everyone else but not for the police. Rules for Aaron and Garen, but not for everyone else. Whatever rules you're going to make up this week, come up with some more. But it does amaze me that you have such an amazing council camera that can spin around and view people and is on a spinner, but you got two shitty-ass black and white cameras in the security area of the lobby. If you were really concerned about security, the best thing you could do is beef up your security in the lobby and put up new cameras, put up spinnable cameras so that you can video everyone that's coming in and out of that building in an appropriate way, instead of doing what you're doing right now, which is using two ancient archaic black and white cameras that the chief himself threw the mayor under the bus and said that he's been asking for security cameras for City Hall and no one will buy them for him. So how about this, City Hall? How about you do something worthwhile, allocate some money to paying for cameras for City Hall, and we upgrade the system there. Anyway, that's my morning rant, so we'll talk to you guys soon, and you make it a wonderful day.